remember the fight against the fight to actualize June 12. And when I sit down now and I hear that they say Buhari has become the champion of democracy because he recognized Abiola's role, I'm like, that's insulting our intelligence. How can a man who was part and parcel of Abacha's regime, who continued to date as you speak to praise Abacha, that never said anything at that point of Abiola's saga, and he had the power to speak out at that point to say, no, I do not agree with what is going on with Abiola, suddenly become the champion of our democracy?
Well, you know, they are deceiving themselves, you know, I mean, it's a deceit, and, you know, even in the acknowledgement of, well, you know, Professor Wole Soyinka, right in the thick of the ceremony, you know, stood up and called Buhari to question on account of what you have just said. That you cannot hold up Abacha as your role model, and in the same vein, be saying that you are recognizing, you know, the contribution or the heroism of people like Abiola, you know, who did virtually destroyed Abiola, you know, under whose tutelage, you know, the crisis, the monumental crisis of 1993 to 1998 that resulted in the destruction of almost all the things, including the man who won the mandate. You cannot, how can you, the same vein, be saying rolling up those two extremes, you know, as commendable and as role model to you, and which again draws attention to the kind of duplicity and hypocrisy we talk about. Look, one of the people that was recognized that was Adams Oshiomole, the present chairman. My first encounter with him was in 1994. I was doing a fellowship with Radio Deutsche Welle, that Voice of Germany, in 1994, November or thereabout. The German government invited 4 representatives of the civil society to Bonn. Himself, I think the late Ejiofor, and 2 university dons, to a classified debriefing session. Very classified in the sense that whatever nobody records. I was now invited, you know, from my station, you know, with Radio Deutsche Welle, you know, to participate in the session. You are not allowed to take any documentation, biro, paper, anything, to ensure that, look, they want everybody to speak without any inhibition about the crisis, the political crisis that was rocking Nigeria. I remember what Oshiomole said. He was the deputy president of Nigeria Labour Congress at that time. One of the purported heroes of that period. He said Nigerians, in the main, they don't give a damn about democracy. What they want is somebody who can put food on their table. Right. Of course, you know, he could say what he said because there was he would not be held accountable. Probably he thought that I controverted him, of course. But these are the kind of people, you know, who have been betraying their positions, their office, you know, and of course he continued along that line when he was president of Nigeria Labour Congress. Contrary, these are people who during the day will say, you know, the spitting fire and everything like that. In the night, he will be, you know, confederating with agents of the government, you know, to sabotage whatever the strike or whatever it is. So this is, of course, so that is the people. I mean, look at the situation. I've not been to his house. Is the moon in his village? Everybody who has been there, you know, including his president. If they tell you what is there, there's no way this man can account for how that other than you know, other than abuse of office. He represents those kind of class of public officials. They are not content with embezzling or stealing money. They must rub it in your face. The evidence of my misdeed, come and see it. And then he was rewarded with the chairmanship of the presidential campaign of a government president that is campaigning on the platform of being an anti-corruption crusader. Can you reconcile the two things together? Bishop Osadolo wrote this petition 2 years ago, submitted it to EFCC for order. They left it unattended until he took it to court. Now, what you expect from a governor who is not guilty of what he's been accused of is to sue that man for defamation. On the contrary, they kept quiet, and the only thing we want to do is how they will just bury it, from exposure. And yet, look, it is the same man that you see fit who has given you this kind of evidences to be the chairman of your campaign. You can see the audacity of the ways of the kind of things we are going through in this country. Is it that you can't find any other person? The man who was here before, does he compare? I mean, the man is accused of corruption. You can see the evidence. You don't need to look at to find the evidence of what they are saying. And then that is the same person that is the chairman of your campaign. Presidential. Look, this Nigeria has taken a lot, but you see, the thing is, I don't know. You see, propaganda, of course, has its limits. A lot of people, friends, concerned people, have told me that, look, I tend to get a bit emotional when I talk, about these things publicly. And the reason,
you should be emotional.
The reason I do so is the absurdity. It is not that somebody has committed a wrong, but the absurdity that even goes, the impunity, the absurdity of calling black white. You don't need to imply it. It is there staring you right in the face. And then some people will say, they will be talking about $16 billion spent on power, which is in itself is deceit, is a lack of integrity. When you know the truth and deliberately you are perverting the truth, not less than 4 agencies, including the National Assembly, the EFCC, ICPC, or whatever, have investigated this rubbish they are saying about $16 billion spent on power and know to be untrue. If anybody is in a position to know the truth of that thing, it is this president and this government. Anybody, just look at the logic of it. If you are Obasanjo, you want to steal money, and it is in such a contentious place as a power sector that you go and dip your water. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to see the kind of rubbish that people say all over the place. If you, as the president of Nigeria, want to steal money, it is the most controversial, the most contentious aspect of public life in Nigeria. That is where you choose to go and steal money. You go and steal billions of dollars.